Good morning. It's a great pleasure to be here in Cuiabá, in the state which is the symbol of the agribusiness. I hope we can discuss about the beginning of this G20 meeting, about under the leadership of the Minister Favaro, and I thank you for the opportunity. G20 Agro is one of the groups. So I'm here on behalf of Carlos Favaro. It's one of the theme groups that which involve all the dynamics of G20, which is this grouping of countries of the 20 biggest economies in the world. Some countries were invited, countries that are strategic to Brazil, and we also have 20 international organizations that also compose this group, are part of the group, and which also discuss with us about the future of each group. In this specific case, agriculture. We, as a country, a sovereign country, about the President Lula and Minister, we suggest some themes for debate in the G20, and they were readily accepted. So, with this transversal line, which is to fight against starvation and poverty in a world which is more fair and sustainable, it makes us there are a bigger themes, a wide range of themes to be discussed in this group. Brazil, which knows about the difficulties and challenges, knows that 20 is a group that works with consensus. We cannot have a voting what the most think. No. All the decisions and declarations that are given from 20 are created in agreement with the countries. So all the groups of G20 in the last 5 editions, they were only letters. So there were not contradictions between what's about what some countries thought and about what Brazil wanted. So we decided firmly since the beginning, and I bring this technical information to you so that you can understand what we are thinking. Brazil has decided from the beginning that we would have a declaration. What does it mean? It means that there is an agreement among all the ministers here today about what is being said. This will make it easier to implement the policies that we want to implement in the world, and it makes it easy that our society, public and private society, can demand this in the future. So for the first time in the last 5 years, we'll have a declaration saying that what are our thoughts for the future of agribusiness. It's important to say that all the groups from G20, the agriculture group is the one with more participants. So we have here in Chapada more than 20 ministers, agriculture ministers confirmed, with the biggest number of participants. It's the one with most participants of all times. And we know why. Because of the importance of Brazil has for the agriculture, and also because of the importance of the events that have been done, because we have also getting back the good international relationships with G20, the event of the BRICS, another bloc that we are going to lead next year for Brazil, and ending with COP30 next year in Pará. We decided that we would have 4 ways in G20 Agro, taking this division that was made by the President Lula that involves the agriculture. We also have the ministry, we have the development minister, we also have the fishing and agriculture ministry. We created themes thinking about these 3 ministries involving all the agriculture in Brazil. The first one is about how we can think about sustainability and the multiple ways that exist for the agro production. The agro production in Brazil is different in Brazil, in China, in India, and they have to be sustainable as they develop and within their own country. We cannot, as we said before, have only one unilateral position. We have our own way of producing, and we have to be open to improvements. I hope we can be more sustainable in the future, but according to our characteristics of our soil, according to our people, according to our climate, and never thinking about positions of only one country. It doesn't matter if it's from country, the United States, or any other place in the world. So the first item deals with the recognition of sustainability of production of the multiple ways in the agro-system in Brazil. We had many advancements. The recognition of bioeconomy is important for Brazil, the biofuels, which are also very important. So, techniques of production like no-till, the better use of nitrogen in the soil, series of actions that are being recognized. They are advancements in our production. The second item, later we are going to talk about it in a more deep way, but the second topic is to fight the distortions that are in the international markets. We cannot accept that there are subsides besides the one that are already agreed by the countries that harm competition, international competition. Brazil nowadays is the country that least gives subsidies for disloyal competition in the international market. What is made in other countries in Asia, in India, in the United States is disloyal competition. And our strategy was to bring these topics so that we can level strengthening our international trading, to debate the many policies among the international market. See the case of cotton. We won when we were fighting about cotton, and it was very important so our cotton could qualify, and it is qualified as the biggest exporter of cotton to the world. So we're strengthening multiple organizations like OMC, strengthening international laws, of course, in terms of trading and also understanding the local questions, local matters. And this will be our second topic for G20. So we talked about sustainability, the multiple possibilities of production. We are also dealing about international markets and the inequalities in the world. And the third that we are going to deal today, which is not less important, is the support to familiar agriculture, to the indigenous people and local communities, respecting their traditions, the way they produce of this group, so that we can deliver an inclusive process. We want to respect the characteristics of its people, the Brazilian people, as well as people from other countries, all of the regions of the world. This is a complex topic. It's not simple. Indigenous people in Brazil act in a way, in Australia, they act in a completely different way. So they do in China. So they produce in different ways. And we hope to level this production in everywhere of the globe so that it can be uniform and a fair competition among the producers, the indigenous people, and all the local communities. This topic will talk about what is being done in the agricultural development ministry. The third topic will affect the agricultural development, but also the last topic, which is not less important, is how to regulate the international market of fishing, this market of protein that has been growing a lot around the world and it has been opening a lot of possibilities of feeding of protein to the populations of the world around the oceans, especially in Africa, in Asia. and it has had a great impact. And we need a lot of regulations. And for that, we have focused and have put some light with our ministers so that we can understand better about how we can about our international market, about agriculture and fishing. So from the beginning, since the beginning of the year, I'd like to thank the opportunity for being here this event. It's a beautiful event, and since the beginning of the year, I've been telling you that the private sector has been present because you are the ones who give us power, and we have this characteristic. We come from the private sector, and then we discuss all the interests of our Brazilian society. It cannot only be the interests of the private sector, but not only the interests of the public sector. There must be a commandment, a common demand. So that's why we have a lot of events in the first event. This is the first one of the long week we'll have. We are buying also in Chapada. We have global discussions about the future of agriculture. It doesn't matter if it's Brazilian or from other countries, from any other region in the world. And we have been talking to G20 together with Tomazoni, who is the leader. He has been doing a great work, aggregating ideas and suggestions, which are very positive, and we have incorporated from the five. Remember that all the suggestions that I sent to the group, there's no point in only Brazil taking it. We have to discuss with the other 20 countries so that there is an understanding of the importance of that suggestion, the understanding of the need of those words, so that we can have at the end, because we are going to write a declaration, and this declaration will be involved with all the countries in the world. So it was hard work. We had a lot of conversation, a lot of debate, more than 12 meetings in the first semester, discussing about this topic with the other countries about how to incorporate this into the G20 and all the productive chains. There are restrictions in one group, there are other conflicts in the others, some conflicts that wanted to prevent us from talk about some things. But this world, geopolitical world, is getting more and more complex, and we have to pay attention to this. We will do what is better, we will do our best to advance so that we can advance in this way of sustainability and prove that our region has the capacity of supply the world we have within our own characteristics and based in sustainable policies. The first suggestion that G20 or B20 brought is what is related to funding. We had talked about a lot of things, but there was a simple sentence that talked about funding, and B20 has alarmed us about this. And so we have written this text with a lot of arguments so that it could be included in the final text. And this was incorporated. So the first contribution was very well accepted, which because they are related to fundings mainly for small producers about climate change. So it was a great victory in the first indication. We also had another indication for B20 about distortive practice in the market, international market. This was another suggestion. It was suggested by G20 and it was very debated. So you see that there are countries that do not accept of diminishment of subsidies in what concerns to their exports. And this harms the other countries with no subsidies, like poorer countries, less developed. They have difficulty to sustain these subsidies. So then we start in a practice that does not build this global world that we live nowadays. We have these two suggestions, we have others. The text is not dead yet. We have just started. It's still alive. So even with these 12 discussions, we'll have 6 more this week. We have been discussing for 8 months in 12 meetings. We'll have 6 meetings only this week. So see how intense it is. We have many debates. We are counting on the presence of the great leaders of agribusiness in the world. We have ministers of United Kingdom. We will have the minister of Japan. We have the vice minister of China. We have the minister of India from many countries, Saudi Arabia as well, who has great investments here. The minister of Arab Emirates. So we have a lot of people here. And of course, they are here with their teams, discussing that with their teams, and will be in person, give their opinions. So I will stop here so that some other people can talk about other themes and things which are expensive to Brazil. So as I heard the governor of Pará talking about carbon credit, it's a very important thing for Brazil because we can produce more respecting the forest. We have the national program of pasture conversion. Minister Favaro said we have 40 million hectares that can be turned into this conversion. And this group don't know about it yet. We are working hard on that so that this will be welcomed until the end of the week, which avoids deforestation. So this conversion, pasture conversion, degraded areas in area of agriculture with great sustainability. So this will be another topic that is still about to be discussed. We have really international relations, the strengthening of OMC, and to end the legislation, international legislation, trading are not accepted for most of the countries. They want there is a forum to decide, but OMC nowadays works, how can I say, only partial, because the organ which will decide the punishment or not of that practice from a specific country has no indication of the American country. As the United States does not nominate a member, so nothing can be, the appealing court can be in court. So we cannot have an effective measure about some cases. So, like just like these cases, we have other situations that have been working this week. We have intensive discussions and have been thinking of, because of the moment we have been through, we are very proud that we have the most sustainable production in the world. We are a model for the world, and we are not going to surrender to unilateral decisions. Doesn't matter if it's from country, one group, or a person. We are sure that we have a lot to show in terms of productivity through Embrapa, which has a beautiful story, aggregation, value aggregation with our agro industry, with the opportunities that people have in the countryside of our country. Most of our production is in the countryside. So thank you all. We are here to talk to you. We are available, and I'm sure we will bring great results